Oh, I've got the official countdown. I want to say welcome to the GG Factor on the last Tuesday in this month of February. Oh boy, there's so much going on around us right now, man. Woo! We got to really pay attention to the fact that there's some action happening in the politicians' world tonight. They're at battle with each other. There are just things going on, man. How about the quad? The guy that just I think they call it the quadruple axle, the guy from the Olympics, man. There's just been so much going on around us. But man, I watched 60 Minutes the other night. I just got to tell you, because a lot of people don't watch, a lot of people do. But boy, let me tell you something about what's going on in our country, what's going on over there in South Africa. Pretty scary, but it's very realistic, and that's my job tonight. But I don't have a guest, and I don't have one tonight. I am the special guest. It's the Gregory Griffith perspective tonight, and I want you to know something, man. I will inform you, I will empower you, and I hope that you'll walk away a little better informed and say, you know what, G, I got you. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what I need to do. So welcome, my G. Welcome, Facebook. Welcome, YouTube, man. I'm just happy to be in the moment, because sometimes somebody else can tell you something you didn't hear, and it just might fire you up. It just might help you to put things in a better perspective. So tonight, when I stop the music, I'm all the way live, and it becomes a real serious matter about what's really going on around us tonight. Welcome to the GG Factor once again. In just a matter of days, we'll be into the third month, approaching springtime 2026. And what I like to ask you is a very simple question. Where are you? Have you decided to let the happy new you come shining through? Are you letting the circumstances around you stagnate you? Are you letting the circumstances around you allow you to live what I call this horrible imbalance, this organized chaos? And when I say the things around you, I'm talking about things that are trending in healthcare, things that are trending in education, things that are trending in, should I say, finance. There's something going on called the COLA effect that we won't forget. And you know what COLA is? C-O-L-A, the cost of living allowance. There's a big, loud scream going on in America about everything going up, 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 and everything else financially staying flatline. And tonight, all I can say to you is this. Either you've determined that I'm going to take the pivot and look at the alternatives for me, for my family, for my financial well-being. There's just so many things that you can do to try to be ahead of the curve. So as we wrap up Black History Month this month, it's up to me to make sure that I recognize and get you to understand that, you know something? That Reverend Jesse Jackson made his transition this week, about a week ago. I think it was on the weekend, last weekend. Because last week, I remember, it was the weekend of Valentine's, because when I came on the show last Tuesday, I was talking about him, and I'm just going to just once again remind you of a great humanitarian cause that man stood for. Like him and John Lewis would say, the good trouble. And you know something? This good trouble wouldn't have been worth nothing if there hadn't been the domino effect of a lot of people believing in him and supporting him. I'm going to ask you right now, are you about the good trouble in this country? Because Lord knows we need it right now, because I just call them 47, and what they're doing in the White House is very scary. And I know I echo so many people who are expressing their displeasure. You know, I'm not going to even bring up ICE anymore than to just say that it was a disgrace, and all we can do is move on. It took some extreme things to happen, some human beings to lose their lives, that they would finally pull ICE out of Minnesota. And, you know, that's a sad shame. There's no reason any type of extreme action to that extent would have to take place. But you know something? They said that. And even Nelson Mandela, who stood up for something like that. Sometimes things seem almost impossible, but you just keep pressing on till you get it done, even if it costs us a couple of just innocent human beings. And it did. Reverend Jesse Jackson ran for president 2 times, but he was the predecessor to attempt it, and then he opened the door for Barack Obama. And all I can say during this Black History Month as we wrap it up, boy, thank you, Reverend Jesse Jackson. Thank you, Shirley Chisholm. Thank you for those African Americans who said that I think I can, I think I will trust the process. And you know something they said that I said in my classroom, and I'm going to say it to you over there live on IG tonight, live on YouTube and Facebook. The only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. And during Black History Month, we recognize people who have done some incredible things against all odds. And that Reverend Jesse Jackson, John Lewis, Shirley Chisholm, speaking from a political perspective, incredible human beings. Boy. That Malcolm X might have been pretty radical. That Martin Luther King, boy, pretty radical from a peace perspective. I was walking around all day today with my shirt simply said peace. And I wore my hat that says God first, and I took it off. I don't even know where I put it tonight, but I want to make it relevant to this conversation tonight. Sunday, I was at my church that I'm a member of, the New Mount Olive Baptist Church in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And the Dr. Reverend Marcus Davidson was recognized in a very, very heavy capacity. And while I'm talking about religion, I want to just slip my cap on for a minute because, you know, I want you to understand when I got this hat from T.D. Jakes, been almost 3 years ago, but I want to recognize something tonight. I think there's a need for a next level surges in where we are from a spiritual perspective. I think we are standing for so much outside of us in the world today, not just America, but all around the world. And when Congressman Deborah Wasserman recognized our Reverend Dr. Marcus Davidson on Sunday for his civil rights movement in the community in Broward County, for his ability to stand up for humanitarian cause in Broward County, Florida, in a manner that is well worth recognition. I applaud you. I'm honored that I'm a member of that church. And they're doing incredible things. I did a special presentation for the Youth Encounter Group. It was actually the weekend right before Thanksgiving, about a couple of months ago. And I recognized how much obscured activity is going on within the parameters of the New Mount Olive Baptist Church. I applaud you, Reverend Davidson. Thank you for what you're doing. And right next door to the building we're at now, the brand new building is about to open. And oh boy, wow. All I can say is a testimonial to the growth. Are you trying to make God first in your life? Are you trying to grow in your endeavor to live in mind, body, and spirit? The trend that's going on right now is a movement toward more people becoming in touch with the reality that all the power you ever need in your life, as I take this hat off, begins by you waking up every day and making God first. You waking up every day and understanding that if you do it, and enough people follow you from that perspective, that's a humanitarian shift. Because see, when there's a lot more spirituality going on, there's a lot more gratitude. There's a lot more empathy versus apathy. And tonight, that's the trend that I'm hoping I can be an activator for that. My YouTube channel, to get me, you have to go to Gregory the Activator and click live tonight. So I hope that by us wrapping up Black History Month, a lot of people don't like the idea of it, but I'm so glad that we do. And you know, from another perspective about what's going on with us, you know, the present administration has been trying to tear down statues. They're trying to close museums. They're trying to stop certain things that are going on about Black American history in this country, just for some reason. I don't understand it. I'm actually baffled. What is wrong with acknowledging Black history in our schools to the extent that people become aware, become cognizant of what African Americans' contributions have been to what this country is really all about? Woo! Because it's incredible. It is simply incredible. And you know, we're wrapping up, and I think they wrapped up already. Miriam, did they wrap up the Olympic Games? I think they're over. I'm not sure, and I just wasn't consistently watching them enough. But let me tell you something, man. I had my opportunities to watch this lady, and she made history as an African American woman in the bobsled race, man. A 98-mile-per-hour race, and you sitting parallel to the ground in a bobsled, and you flying, and every little minute move you make. And this woman won her first gold medal. She is the most awarded African American with medals, but she just got her first gold medal. Eleanor Taylor. And if you missed me speaking about her a little briefly last week, I'm just going to bring it up one more time. Let me tell you something. Boy, this woman has two sons who are deaf. This woman has one of them that has Down syndrome. This woman, when she's training, she pushes her SUV up a hill because she has to push that 350-pound bobsled. And you're out here complaining about your life. This woman overcame some incredible racism to the extent that it drew her into a deep depression. She didn't know why it was happening, what was going on with her. And let me tell you something, man. When people can overcome the odds like that, like my banner would say in the classroom, the only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. She's a true testimonial to it. Woo! Against all odds. Check her out. I'm sure she's on YouTube now, Eleanor Taylor. And he's not a white boy, I mean, he is a white boy, but that boy, the quad, is that what they call him, Miriam, the quad? Oh, my goodness, man. I can't pronounce his name. All I know is he do these quadruple exo spins out on that ice. Oh, man, like nobody else can. He fell several times. He, just like Donnie McClurkin would say, we fall down, but we get up. Boy, I applaud you, the quad. He came back and still got the medal. Woo! So all I can say to you tonight, when you start putting limitations on yourself, all I can say to you tonight, when you start thinking about things that are not working in your favor, all I can say to you tonight, think about Eleanor Taylor sometime. Think about Reverend Jesse Jackson sometime. Think about Shirley Chisholm, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Think about some of these African Americans and people. Forget just African Americans, because the quad obviously is not, but people who, against all odds, go out here and make it happen. Think about our Reverend Dr. Marcus Davidson, what he's doing right now in the here and now. Because you know, in the here and now right now, what's trending is not very favorable in the Black community. It's just sad to say this. And I hope that something will happen along the way that'll wake up the people who are in the house. And you know, tonight, and I'm not going to do anything to publicize it much, I'm just going to say the State of the Union tonight at 8 o'clock. And he's already had like a precursor to it. He said, oh, it's going to be a great one tonight. I'm going to be telling you about all the great things that are going on in America. And shut up, because I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Because from my perspective, from the Gregory Griffith perspective tonight, the paradigm that exists in my mind, from what I'm seeing on the news 7 days a week, what I'm hearing on the radio, when I come home late night after some of my performances, I'm still in the entertainment business. You know, I probably never ever stop performing until I die because I love it. But when I come home late night some nights, I'm always curious about what the right, the Republican Party thinking about, the Conservative Party thinking about, and how are their opposition to the left side, how the Democrats. Boy, you would be shocked. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that you would be shocked how we live in the same America, but the perspectives that people have about what's right and what's wrong and what should be mandated and what shouldn't, the ones who have the Republican Party and all of their constituents, man, they feel that Donald Trump can't do anything wrong. And then all you have to do is go over to the left, and then they can quantify all the things that are a lie. So then you sit in the middle, you know, like a liberal almost. You know, I'm a registered Democrat. I may become a liberal because I'm never ever going to say I won't vote for anything that's Republican. I'm just saying right now, I've been pretty biased against it because for one reason, It's a humanitarian cause to be the president. It's a humanitarian cause to be a governor. It's a humanitarian cause for you to be a mayor. It's a humanitarian cause for you to be a councilman. It's a humanitarian cause for you to be on the city council or the school board. You represent all the people. And it's whether you're a Republican or you a Democrat. And that's where we're having a problem. And you know something, man? I don't know if I have the answers, because when I'm coming home and I turn on AM radio and I get the perspective from way over there on the right, I mean, they feel that there's nothing wrong in this country. They don't think ICE done nothing wrong. They don't think it was nothing wrong in a county in this country right now. In the state of Virginia, I think it's McDowell County in the southern west region of the state of Virginia. It's a sad ass shame in America. If you can see the dark brown, dirty ass water that those people have been drinking, and for more than 6 years, it's been going on. In the neighborhood, 350 miles from the White House. Something wrong in America. Nobody should have drinking water in that kind of condition. If you didn't see it on 60 Minutes, please archive it. Go to YouTube and watch it. McDowell County in the state of Virginia. About 5 or 6 years ago, way before COVID, it was one of the most thriving coal mining states in the whole United States. And that county was thriving. 100,000 people, all kind of money flowing into the county. And all of a sudden, something happened. The coal mining industry drew up, just dried up, excuse me. And tonight, this is the perspective that Greg Griffith is going to give you, that I think you should stop and sometimes step back and take a closer look at what's going on in this country from a governmental perspective. When people got to drive 45 miles to a Mother Nature running natural spring water well to get their water. People cannot even take a bath in hot water because it smells so bad. The toxins are so horrible. It's giving people cancer. They're dying. This is in America right now with the president we got right now. And it's scary to me. It welled me up, man. And you got people 75 and 76 years old going out, taking every little extra money they got to get water and take it to people who can't go to that spring that's 45 miles away. Somebody ought to be talking. I don't know I don't even know the governor of state of Virginia. Shame on you. Shame on our present administration that people would have to live in those kind of conditions. And you know what is so sad about it? Most of them are old, elderly people that nobody seems to have no empathy for. I had to sit up in my chair and I had to really understand what was going on. I said, look at this, man. Look at this situation. It dwindled from 100,000 people to 10,000 people in population. The water is horrific. And these people are spending $150 and $200 a month to just keep drinking water in their homes. And most of them are on retired fixed incomes. But this is America. This is where everything's supposed to be all right. When the man gonna tell those lies tonight, because we know it's a lie, everything ain't all right. There's tensions and pressures and all kind of things going on in America right now that we need to stop, wake up, and go see your congressman, your representatives. Go voice your displeasure and if you have any. If somebody in Virginia can't understand what's going on in that, nobody in the world should be living like that, but especially in America. Man, when I say horrific, this is bad. This is, I didn't believe it. And guess what? Of all the people who needed the most, snap out of the house, eradicated, deleted the food stamp assistance program, cut their program out. There's a lady sitting there, 26 years old, got 4 children, working in the county, doing the best she can. For some reason, you know what I don't understand? Why it has not been a complete exodus out of that county. I don't get it. I got to sip my tea on that one. I want to try to figure it out too. Why should people have to spend $150 for clean water? Why should you cut SNAP programs to the people in a county, in a state like this who need it the most? Why? Once again, the hidden obscurities regarding the administration's facilitation of services to a select few. Man, I can't call the lady name right now. Wow, Maru, I'm drawing a blank. I guess I'm having a senior moment. What's that lady name who's so outspoken as a Democratic representative? You know who I'm talking about, Maru? And she was talking about ain't nothing but billionaires getting richer. What's that lady name? I'm sorry. I can't even think of the woman's name. But, forgive me. I want to make a point about what she said. See, I'm not against anybody being wealthy. And I'm not against anybody being wealthier and wealthy as they could ever be. But at the same time, should an administration be so proactive in that direction that all they're talking about is the stock market getting better? All they're talking about is that people are just making more money on the side of the coin that nobody else can see, but not the working class people? That food going up 20%, electricity, healthcare, education, everything is just going up, up, up. I mentioned the COLA effect that we won't forget a little earlier in my conversation. When I talked to you about the cost of living allowance, why aren't wages in alliance with the cost of living alliance? Why aren't they aligned? Excuse me. Why do they keep increasing prices, but they won't increase wages? I don't get it. I'm a retired teacher, and I talk about it all the time. If I hadn't been an entertainer and a speaker and an author, a guy with a real estate license, a financial services license, and a background in real estate investments, I don't think I could have stayed in the classroom. I'm gonna just be honest. And I did it 31 years. Don't regret a moment of it, loved it. But after about 3 paychecks, I looked at my paycheck and I looked at my circumstances and I said, no. And this having a spouse, being married. Can you imagine somebody trying to be a teacher in this country right now and it's just them, a single parent maybe also? But not even a parent, just a person with a 4-year education, got a degree in education, want to become a teacher, and can't even qualify for a house. But this is America. This is where everything's supposed to be just wide open. It's just so much. Oh, come on, man. Come on, somebody. I was blessed with some passions at an early age. And I love myself some music. I started playing trumpet at 12 years old. I watched my brother go to FAMU when I was just a 6-year-old, and he came back and gave me his trumpet when he graduated from college. And I watched my brother, man, do so many things in my life that I said to myself, dear God, I'm glad I had a father figure around who led by example. Didn't meet my father until I was 50 years old. And I'm grateful for the 10 years I had with him. Not even quite 10, about 9.5 years. But my point I'm trying to make to you is this. There is so much going on where people are not able to be inspired to activate their passions. Because while I was a teacher, I found my love for music at a young age, and I never stopped loving it. And I found a way to monetize it. And that's one of the things that I'm going to give you that's an inside story right now about being ahead of the trends that are impacting you from a COLA perspective, being ahead of the trends that are impacting you right now from an inflationary perspective. You got to find a passion and monetize it. I found my passion for music at an early age in my life. I've had a few record deals, had some great times in the music business, out there in that world as a full-time musician. I understood I needed to take a pivot at one point in my life. I have 2 wonderful sons, both are college educated, and a beautiful granddaughter. And I'm so proud to say that both of them said, Dad, you led by example. They saw me go back to graduate school and get a master's degree when I was still a full-time musician and just sub-teaching in the daytime so I could provide for my family. Do you need to take a pivot right now? And I'm at the point in the show where I talk about what I offer on Thursday nights. And it's an alternative to the establishment. It's called my 30 Days to a New You Maximum Potential Coaching. It's to activate or stagnate strategy sessions we have, where both my books are utilized. I offer either one of these books to you for you to come into the Get Activated community. Or if you're watching me tonight, you can go to theactivator.net. There's a link right there in the chat. Or if you want to just go to my website, theactivator.net, you click on the Get Activated community for $97 a month. You get communication with me monthly. You come into my Get Activated community. As I said, you get a copy of this book. You get to take a personal assessment analysis. You find out what's going on with you. Where are your pain points? What's going on with you? What's going on in your world? What's going on with you from a mental, spiritual, and physical perspective? Because one thing about Gregory Griffith that will never, ever change, I do believe in the reality of living in balance. And because I'm going to tell you something about that. When you don't live in balance and you find yourself stuck living with organized chaos, and I talk about it every week, I call it imbalance. And when things happen in our country like we're going through right now, and you realize that you getting a paycheck like I did as a teacher, and I said, wait a minute, I'm not going to quit this teaching thing. I love it because the Lord knows how much it inspired me to inspire and empower kids, especially I was a special needs teacher and a cross-country coach for 7 of those 31 years. But I was blessed. My family owned a nightclub in Tampa. I started playing in nightclubs when I was 16 years old. Shout out to my baby sister, Ruby Baker. At 12 years old, she was our lead singer. We had our first band. We were out there. And by the time I was 17, man, I was getting a paycheck for my passion. Monetize your passion, and you'll always be ahead of the curve, even if you got your W-2 job, baby. I had my W-2 here, but I also had the entrepreneur here. I started my corporation in 1992. I started teaching in 1992. I never stopped my corporation. I never stopped teaching until I decided that I would retire. I'm so grateful. I got a pension now. And there were many times along the way I wanted to stop. I'm not going to lie to you. I wonder sometimes if I could have, would have, should have. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you because I always, yes, had aspirations for the next level in the music business. But you know something? After what I went through as a kid with a kid, I had my first son when I was 18 years old. I was a freshman in college. My son came to Florida A&M University with me, went to classes with me. My girlfriend at the time back then, shout out to you, Cassandra, never stopped having that place for me that won't ever forget that. She treated my son as though it was his son. And the point I'm trying to make you is this: against all odds, I got my degree. Because the only other common denominator in the United States of America right now, if you're not an entrepreneur, you better get a higher education degree. If you're not an entrepreneur, you better get specialized in something so that you can monetize. And tonight, that's my secret inside story. Get what? Activated, a winner's mindset. Coming to my Get Activated community on Thursday nights. And I promise you, you give me 30, 60, 90 days, I'll give you another month free, block off 1/4 of your life with me. And I know that your innate, your intrinsic, your inherent, your inborn abilities will be activated. Everybody got them. You better trust it, man. Everybody got something inside of them to make the contribution to this planet. You are the captain of the ship. You can set sail wherever you like. But the question is, have you recognized that? All the way up, baby. You got to be unstoppable. You got to say, nothing can stop me. I don't care how many damn times you fall down, get your ass up and recognize. Because in this world we live in right now of elasticity from a supply and demand perspective, you got to be able to stretch the dollar before you holler. You got to be able to stretch that dollar before you holler. And what do I mean by that? Monetize. Get yourself some passive income. I own an apartment building right now. And I'm so grateful that I was about to sell it too. I had to sell a strip mall. I had to sell 5 or 6 houses. I had to do a whole bunch of sell-offs during COVID-19. But the devil is a lie. I'm still afloat. Never had to go to bankruptcy or go through a foreclosure, any of that stuff. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm not tooting my whistle, but I found the alternative. I got some passive income right now. I get out of my bed for things that I like to do. I love still playing music. I'm doing a private wedding this weekend at the #1 country club in the country. I'm just blessed to say my passion has always been my purpose. And when you got passion and purpose, the third three of the P3 theory is this tonight, which you'll find out from me if you decide to come into my community. Possibilities. When you find your passion, you find your purpose, IG, you find your passion, you find your purpose over there, YouTube, you find your passion, you find your purpose, Facebook. Let me tell you something, man. Nothing can stop you. Ex Simone Biles, ex Oprah Winfrey in Black History Month, ex Barack Obama and his incredible wife, Michelle Obama, ex Eddie Murphy. All he loved to do is tell jokes. Richard Pryor, all he do is tell damn jokes for a living. That's all, but they do it well. You ask Michael Jordan, who didn't even make the basketball team. He perfected basketball and didn't make the team in his junior year in high school. His mama told him, get your butt back out there. If you love it, it's going to love you back. And all I'm trying to tell you is this. Where's your passion? That's where your purpose is. Are you on a job that you don't wake up to with passion? Then you need a new job. Are you in a relationship you don't wake up to feeling good and happy and all those endorphins and everything you need about being in that relationship makes you feel like it? Because I'm doing a relationship series right now on Thursday nights. It's the Strive Masterclass, and the emphasis right now is on the who, what, where, and what, your WHY about relationships. And I'm telling you the absolute truth right now. If you don't stop and micromanage your life, life gonna micromanage you. And the worst mistake anybody could make is to wake up into a situation that becomes, by default, your comfort zone. You know what I mean? A job you've been on 10 years, you know you don't even like to go to that job. You don't like the people you're around. You don't even like the skill sets that you're using. But you still showing up because you got the check every 2 weeks in benefits. And I ain't mad at you, but suppose you were showing up fired up. I showed up fired up to my job as a teacher, and one day I didn't realize I could write a book about my experiences as a special needs teacher. I wrote 200 plus journals to all my kids every day for 2 or 3 years as a teacher. Didn't miss a day. I wrote a journal to them. They had to write back to me. I was innovative. I had intentions. Can you imagine being a first-year teacher with 6 classes in 6 different rooms and driving 45 miles and back every day, almost 100 miles a day to be a teacher? And then I realized I had to continue being a musician, and I was working at some point 4 and 5 nights a week. I was making more money in the entertainment business than I was as a teacher, but I loved it. And guess what God done? I took about 30 of my best journals. I put them into this book. The next thing I know, I'm a keynote speaker for all the vocational schools in Broward County, Florida, and they put my book in the classrooms. Shut up if you're not living with passion. Shut up if you're not living with purpose. Shut up if you're not understanding that the universe will give you infinite possibilities. I'm a living witness. Trust me, I'm not bragging. Trust me, it's not. I'm just trying to tell you, when you love something and you wake up fired up and you want to be on that job every day and you want to make sure that your contribution matters. Oh boy. And see, that's what's wrong right now. People are living in these comfort zones of stagnation. I wrote this title of this book, Activate or Stagnate, for one reason. We all are procrastinators at some point in our lives. But do you sit on that box, that big old Dock of the Bay box of procrastination? Do you just sit there and until it becomes your complacent comfort zone? And let me tell you something, man. Ain't going to work for you. And every time I found something I got a passion for, the universe opened up for me, man. I bought my first apartment building. I didn't know where I could get the money. I didn't know if I could qualify from a bank. I didn't know if I could find the time to buy an 8-unit building with a laundry room in the back and still be a full-time teacher and a full-time musician. And I did it. I did it. In about 3 years, or just 3 to 4 years of being a real estate investor, my net worth was already over $1 million. If I took my home, I took my duplex, I took my townhome, and I took my 8 unit building and sold them all, I could walk away with $1 million. And that was years ago. Real estate is a critical part of your investment portfolio. You don't have to be a all full-time person in real estate, but you need to own some. When COVID-19 happened and I had nothing left but my real estate, I couldn't even pay my mortgage because everything and everyone exodused on me. I had equity. I'm going to write a book called Equity is King. Trust me on that. I'm not speaking Babbitt to you. I can quantify, it's not a subjective lie. Trust me on that when I tell you that you can take your position with the right amount of what I say, expertise in real estate and become a king. So I'm going to say to you again tonight, do you need help with that? Come into my camp. If I bought millions of dollars of real estate, I'll be glad to give you the inside scoop too. Even if you're working your W-2 40-hour-week job. I got about 10 minutes left here and I'm wrapping up tonight. I want you to know something tonight. One of the first pages in my book said, if I've done it, you can do it. And I have to use me as an example. I'm born in the 50s, man, when it was just starting to ease up segregation. By the time I got to first grade, it was still one of those things where whites over here, blacks over here, you can't sit at this counter. I'll never forget when even when all of that was done and I got a job and I went to sit in the truck with one of my white farmers. He told me, boy, get your ass out of here. You don't sit in the truck with me. I would never forget that. I won't forget that. But I understood that. And you see the establishment that's existing right now, there's some hidden obscurities in the etiology of the environmental conditions that we call that side of the world that feels they still have passed it down to their what? Their kids. That's why racism still exists in this country. They're always going to feel some sort of superiority. And that's a lie. We're just human beings. We're just human beings. I must segue right now to a part of my conversation tonight. And Miriam, you almost let me forget it. Boy, I saw a segment about South Africa. Woo! I had to lean up in my chair on 60 Minutes because I love 60 Minutes. I love CBS This Morning. I love CNN and Abby Phillips and all these people. I love being educated about what's going on around us. So I watch 60 Minutes. If I can't watch it on that Sunday night, I religiously tape it. And when I'm tired at night, about to go to sleep, I'll pop it on. And boy, man, they showed me something that just made me try to stop and digest it. In a country that's predominantly black, totally, we all know that. But did you know that 75% of all the farms in Africa are owned by white people? White Africans, Africano, they call them. Whatever they call them. The point I'm trying to make to you is this. Maybe 25% of all of that land in Africa where they're farming going on is with black people. Something's wrong in that narrative. And the point I'm trying to make is the etiology. You got to re-roll and rewind and re-roll and rewind, re-roll and rewind all the way back to the European slave movement. And then fast forward to 2026, and what a mix we got right now. They're still trying to hold on to it. They're still trying to say you don't deserve it just because of the way you look. And guess what's sad about that? Of those 75% of the farmers who own those farms, what percentage do you think of the people working for them are black, African? 90% of them. 90% of them. Something's wrong in that narrative. That working paradigm to me is so blurred. It's something so wrong. I saw a special also on 60 Minutes about the employment rate in Africa, the healthcare crisis in Africa. It's just sad, man. And speaking of global politics, I'm going to tell you like this, man. They said it wasn't until Nelson Mandela became the president there that things started to take some sort of a change. And never ever did they take the kind of change that's needed. Will they ever? That's a loaded question. But here is the point that I'm going to go full circle with. Our present administration, 47 and the boys, they said there was a genocide of white farmers in Africa. 60 Minutes had to quantify that that's a lie. Gregory Griffith said this now. This is what's going on with our country right now with the billions and billions of dollars that are being just taken for all kind of reasons, but for humanitarian causes in this country. You're going to immigrate. You're going to import these white Africans while you're kicking out hardworking, innocent people because of what they look like. But you want to bring these people in. You should have seen the little African white kids waving their American flags and being so proud that we are aggressively going to get them and bring them in while we're trying to kick out people who still want to be here. Boy, something wrong, man. I don't know. Somebody need to help me out with this. What the hell is going on? We are going out looking for them to bring them to America. And they're saying that they're trying to bring them to America because there's supposed to be this genocide going on of white farmers. And then there was a white farmer who went on the air and said, that's a lie. There's no genocide going on over here. We're just fine. Trump put out a big lie telling that all of the white crosses that were on the highway were all of the white farmers that were killed. And that was a lie. The truth of the matter is, the man that owned all of those crosses said that was something he did to represent people over the years who've been killed. Of course, there is something going on that's really scary. Gangs are coming into those farms and murdering people, murdering those farmers, but it's not genocide. Every single person they interviewed that was a white farm owner said, no, that's not true. Why are they saying that? That's not happening at all. And see, that's what's going to happen tonight in about 10 minutes. We're going to get a big, vicious lie about a lot of stuff. Of course, there are things that are going on that we can say are good in this country. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to downplay it and say that the present administration, increased things like Social Security, or maybe got the stock market doing a lot better, or maybe mandating a few things that they give financial incentives to people for that'll give them a temporary hoorah. But man, the big picture is not so good. It's not so good, man. And when I think that this country, do you know that America gave $50 billion to Argentina for something I heard? $50 billion. Do you know how much money that, and I'm not against anything we do to help the global wars that are going on around us, but do you know how much money we spend on defense abroad? I don't even want to go there right now. And my point is this, contrary to why you couldn't snap, I'm a special needs teacher retired. Why are you cutting back programs that give money to the disabled? When you could put $50 billion somewhere, why do you have to touch? Why should those programs even come under radar tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody need to help me out. That's why I told you. I said I'll bring up the things that are trending. So many things I bet I'm talking about you had no idea of. I bet you didn't. I bet you had no idea that they recruiting white people to bring them in here and spending our tax dollars to do it, while they kicking out some innocent people that all they ever wanted to do was work. Oh yeah, they always playing up their thugs and gangsters and murderers and drug dealers, all of them. When that's an absolute lie. It's a lie, man. Of course, there are bad people in all parts of the world, but they're all not bad that's coming from Cuba, coming from Puerto Rico, or coming from Mexico, or coming from Colombia, or wherever they're coming from, man, or coming from Haiti, or coming from Africa, who black, who get turned around, but you go over and recruit white people. Come on, man, that's scary to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's all I can say. And I'm not a politician, but I have my perspective on things. And I just want to say this tonight. If you're a voting person and you elected the president administration, the legislative branch that we have, which is totally Republican also, and you elected them, and you're going to sit back and say you're happy with what they're doing and the impact that it's having on all of us. Remember, these positions that people are voted into, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or liberals, they're still humanitarian causes that focus around why you're put in that position. Do you think a humanitarian thing, excuse me, is going on with the way ICE has been, the way SNAP has been cut, the way all these DEI programs have been cut? Do you think all that's okay with Pam Bondi and the way her aggression right now, the lady Norm, whatever her name is, can't call her first name, and I don't care. But these people who are in positions right now, when the White House presidents, the White House press secretary comes to speak about the president, and everything she say will be skewed to the point that the president is okay, and whatever they're saying is a quantitative lie when it's a subjective lie, because she can't quantify it. You better wake up in this country, man, and you better get in a position where you can have your position. You can have what's yours, that nobody can't take it from you. Nobody can't take my master's degree from me. Nobody can't take my intellectual properties from me. I can play music till I die. My teacher's certificate is still active. I know how to buy real estate. I bought an apartment building. I even have good credit. I didn't even need a bank. I bought a duplex with $1,500 and assumed the mortgage. Turned around and flipped it for 5 or 6 years and still sold it at a profit. Let me tell you something, man. You better get yourself on the right side of the coin about your passive income, about your intellectual property that's part of your P3 theory. And I'm going to say it to you again. I'm offering an opportunity. Go to theactivator.net. You can get a copy of my book free. That's $25.99. Either one of my books, you can get free of charge. You get me every month if you do the $97 a month. I want you to take my $9.97 a month and do it for 3 or 4 months. And you'll get a month free. I block off 4 months of your life with me, and you come into this camp with me, man. Why wouldn't I share my expertise with you? I got 2 books. You want to write a book? I'll help you. I still got mentors around me, people who I've invested thousands of dollars in. Do you understand that Jim Rohn said this, and I want to speak it tonight as we get close to the end? Personal development is a very personal, priceless thing to do. I do it every night. I forgot to do it tonight. Let me tell you something. Personal development is something that starts with who you are physically first. Who are you in your mind, body, and spirit? Yes, but you wake up every day to a situation that's like this. I'm a marathoner. I've done 25 marathons. But you know something? I wasn't always a marathoner. I didn't start running marathons until I was, 42 years old. Almost right before my 43rd birthday in 1997. Here's the point I want to make. I found out that my health is my wealth. And if I learn to run, I'm going to keep my BMI down. And that lie about everything else they're saying is a lie. I'm going to eat right. I stopped eating pork and beef. I cut back my sugars to the point. I still got a little sugar too. Yeah, I still eat bluebell. I ain't going to eat apple pie, but I keep it in moderation. I'll help you drink every now and then, but I'll keep it in moderation. I ain't doing nobody drugs. Oh, no, I'm not going to poison my body like that. This is my temple. This is my temple. I got one physical body I wake up with until I make my transition. One. Sorry, you guys, my little line over there to IG fell over. I hope you can still, sorry about that. But here's the point I'm trying to make to you. Man, hear me when I say this to you too, bro. Until you realize that you wake up every day and you mind, body, and spirit, and that if you carve out, I always make this a very known fact about 24/7, 168 hours a week. What are you doing with them? Before I get out of here tonight, if you want to come into the Get Activated community and let's carve out 14 hours a week, come on to my community on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock, and I'll show you and quantify that the reasons why at 71 years old, I ain't got no pot belly. And until I had a meniscus surgery, I was still running marathons. I ran 20 of them in 1 decade. That's 2 marathons a year. And I was already over 40 years old. I can help you with that. You may not become a marathoner, but you'll find your light under the sun, and to your health being your wealth, whether it's basketball, football, weightlifting, or walking, swimming, or cross training, a little bit of all of that, you will find it, because that's my job, to help you live a life of balance. And the most important thing I'll share to you is this. Life's going to throw you some curveballs. I've had many. But you know what's going on with that? That's where spirit is. That's where you grow. Every single challenge you got is a moment of growth. You think I could have went to graduate school 52 Saturdays in a row from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and I was still a full-time musician? I had the tenacity and the audacity to function in the capacity. I got my physical body in shape. It helped me get in tune with my mental state. And I found the spirit within me to become an activator. And when I found that place, I'm telling you the truth, man, you never get total balance, but awareness will keep you ahead of the curve. I want to say that once again. You never, ever get total balance in your life, but you have awareness. When you're paying too much time to your physical, but you're ignoring the spiritual. Or you're paying way too much time in the Bible and everything else you're doing, but you're ignoring your cognitive abilities. That imbalance is scary. That becomes organized chaos. And you can't do it. They've quantified it. There are people who live like that all the way to the point that they get sick. And I'll make the analogy every week on this show. It's like a car. If you don't tune it up, it's going to shut down. And tune up in mind, body, and spirit. Thank you so much. That's right. I'm at 52 minutes tonight. I said I was going to stay at less than an hour. Well, I've made the announcement. I've talked about things that I hope help you tonight. Have you looked into where your passion, where your purpose, where your possibilities might be? Have you done that YouTube? Have you done that Facebook? Have you done that over there IG? Have you stopped and said, the old clock on the wall telling me this? It ain't going to wait on you. Every day, 24 hours going to go by. That becomes a week. That becomes a month. That becomes a year. And every month that you put off becomes a quarter, becomes another quarter, becomes a year. We're 3 months into this year. A week from today will be the first Tuesday in the month of March. And 2 weeks from that will be springtime. Set up something right now. Come and hang out with me March, April, and May. And then I give you the month of June free. I bet your life will be different. If you desire your first property, I own many houses, a strip mall, and apartment buildings. You know, I can do that for you. Condos on the beach, you know, I'll help you do that. If you desire your first book, I've got 2 of them. If you never ran a marathon, you might want to run one. Hey, I got a YouTube on that already. So my point to you is that those are my passions, man. They're my intellectual properties. And I always say to you, like my book said, the only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. Like my book says, is this too. And it's the first page of my GG factors in my book. Activate or stagnate. In each of us is an infinite amount of energy to reach our maximum potential. In each of us is an infinite amount of energy to reach our maximum potential in mind, body, and spirit. To define yourself, to activate your true identity, to become a better version of yourself, to know that your existence on this planet matters. Every week I tell you about Michelle Obama, and when she said, your story matters. Please, the clock is ticking. You will die one day. It ain't gonna be, and you know something, Why not die in a state of mind like a man that I'm doing his 95th birthday party for in the end of May? Mr. Brooks, when I met that man personally, and his effervescent enthusiasm was so contagious, that's what you should have. Effervescent enthusiasm that's contagious. When you love to do something, it's a passion. When you love to do something, it's your purpose. When you love to do something, the universe gives you possibilities. I start my show with music and I end it with it. And I'm gonna slip my little medal on tonight. Activate the winner in you. I'm gonna put my hat back on tonight and tell you, but you better do it with God first. You better do it waking up. Like every day I wake up, I don't walk out my door without looking in my Bible and reading Psalm 91, which is the prayer of protection. You don't want to come into my camp because you think I'm too religious? Bye-bye. I don't need you either. But do you want to grow spiritually? Do you want to grow mentally? Do you want to grow physically? Do you want to live a life in balance? You better start with your spirit first. I carved out for you a plan that's 14 hours a week. Listen to me. 30 minutes of exercise, 30 minutes of spiritual growth, and 1 hour of cognitive expansion. And think about that. 2 times 7 is 14 hours a week. Go to the activator.net, click the Get Activated Community, or you click the 30 Days to a New You Maximum Potential Coaching. I am the Activator. That's why my website is called theactivator.net. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. He who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You alone are my refuge and my fortress. I put my trust in you to protect me against the snare of the fowler, against the noise of pestilence. Cover me with your feathers. Under your wings shall I trust. Your truth shall be my shield and my buckler. That's from Psalm 91. I know that whole Bible chapter by memory. You should wake up to who you are, knowing something woke you up inside of you. If I leave you with nothing else today, wake up, put your spirit first, find 15 minutes in the morning, find 15 minutes before you go to bed at night. And boy, that's a game changer. So until next Tuesday night, I'm going to have Jerry Nelson, The Elements of Sound Production. What an incredible human being. You don't want to miss him next Tuesday night. Kicking off the month of March for me. Almost said May. The month of March, Jerry Nelson. What a very just incredible dad, incredible entrepreneur, incredible husband, just a good human being. I met his son the other night, and the apple's not falling far from the trees. His son is a high jumper. His son going to the #1, Christian school down here over here in Broward County. His son drives every day up here and back. But you know something? You got to meet Jerry Nelson, the GG Factor. Gregory the Activator, click live. And until Tuesday night, I will see you, be it God's will, this Thursday night. So take care of yourself. And until the next time, my friends, go out and spread some love in your life. Go out and be something you've never been to be something you've never been. Do that.